Have you ever wondered what the world sounded like thousands of years ago? Not the roar of armies or chants of temples, but the ordinary voices of people buying bread, greeting friends, or singing children to sleep. Those everyday words once filled bazaars and homes until they vanished forever. Language isn't just communication, it's memory. Every phrase holds the weight of customs, weather, and emotion. When a language dies, it takes with it a whole universe of human experience. In ancient Mesopotamia, scribes carved stories onto clay tablets using cuneiform. But those symbols were not only for kings, they spelled out greetings, recipes, and love. Letters. Entire dialects like Ebloite and Elamite once thrived, now only dust beneath museum glass. The Egyptians too had daily words never spoken again. Simple phrases for morning bread or evening offerings were written in Demotic script, not the grand hieroglyphs. It was the language of life, and its echo is gone. Imagine a market in Alexandria, sellers calling in Greek, buyers answering in Coptic. The air buzzed with tongues that no recording will ever capture. Those sounds died quietly when new empires rose and new scripts took over. Across the Indus Valley, artisans stamped tiny symbols onto seals. We still don't know what those marks mean. They may have been their spoken words, frozen in clay. Their language remains one of the greatest mysteries of the ancient world. In the mountains of Anatolia, the Hittites spoke a tongue older than Greek or Latin. They called bread ninda and wine wiana. These simple words fed their families for centuries until silence took their place. Every lost word once belonged to someone's routine, a mother's call, a merchant's joke, a child's song. Languages died not with wars alone, but when children stopped speaking them to their parents. Extinction began in the home. In ancient China, before Mandarin, there were countless local tongues. Some sounded like the wind through bamboo, soft and brief. They faded as empires united speech under one standard, leaving poetry without its original voice. The Phoenicians taught the world to write letters, but their own language vanished. Words that built trade routes across the Mediterranean disappeared with their sailors. Only echoes survive in the roots of modern words like alphabet and navigation. Every lost language leaves behind ghosts not haunting, but whispering. Archaeologists can read symbols, but not intonation. They can translate meaning, but never music. In Greece, before Homer's Greek, there was linear be a bureaucrat's tongue of lists and inventories. It once named fish, grain, and olive oil with careful precision. Then it fell silent, replaced by a new alphabet and new heroes. In Persia, the Avestan language carried sacred prayers, but it also held ordinary greetings like, "How are you?" spoken between neighbors. Those common phrases are gone, leaving only the holy ones behind. Europe was once a patchwork of tongues before Latin marched through it. From Gaul to Iberia, every village had its own words for sun, rain, and love. Now their descendants live quietly in dialects and accents. In North Africa, the Berber people kept languages older than pyramids. Each tribe had its own terms for sand, camel, and star. Empires came and went, but their tongues slowly faded into Arabic shadows. Ancient Rome didn't kill languages by force alone, it absorbed them. As Latin spread, local words merged and changed. Some survived as fragments in French, Spanish, and Italian like bones of older tongues. In South America, the Incas spoke Quechua long before Spanish arrived. But even Quechua had ancestors' languages now lost to mountain winds. Their songs were never written, only sung to the Andes. Africa's linguistic map once shimmered with thousands of voices. Some tribes used clicks, others drummed messages across valleys. Many of those tones vanished before anyone could record them. Even the Bible holds echoes of vanished words. Some phrases in ancient Hebrew cannot be fully translated today. They carry meanings that only the past understood. The true tragedy of a lost language isn't just silence, it's disconnection. When words die, the memories of daily life go with them, the way a mother said her child's name, the sound of laughter at a market. That's history we can never revive. Not every lost language vanished completely. Some sleep inside carvings, waiting for centuries to be read again. When archaeologists brush off dust, words awaken fragile but alive. In 1799, a black stone changed history, the Rosetta Stone. It carried the same text written in Greek, Demotic, and Egyptian hieroglyphs. That single discovery gave voice back to Egypt's forgotten tongue. For nearly 1,400 years, no one could read the hieroglyphs. Temples were silent, inscriptions meant nothing. Then scholars cracked the code, and ancient Egypt began speaking again. Imagine hearing the first word spoken from a dead language after centuries of silence. It's not just sound, it's a time machine. Through those syllables, humanity greets itself across millennia. Linguists today work like detectives. They gather fragments of pot, a song, a carved sign, and build entire systems of speech from them. Each new word rediscovered is a piece of human rebirth. The lost Etruscan language once filled the hills of Italy. We can read its letters but not understand its meaning. It's like listening to a melody with the notes missing. The Minoans on Crete left behind the script called Linear A. It holds trade records, prayers, and perhaps poetry all undeciphered. Every symbol is a locked door to a vanished mind. In the Americas, the Olmecs may have invented writing long before the Maya, but their symbols remain mute, weathered by rain and time. No one knows how they described their gods or counted their days. The Mayan script itself was once lost too. For centuries, scholars saw it as decoration, not language. When it was finally decoded, we learned their kings spoke of love, war, and the stars. When a language returns, it brings back the heartbeat of a people. Suddenly, we hear farmers, priests, and lovers who lived 2,000 years ago. It's not just words, it's identity resurrected. Some lost words still hide inside our modern speech. English alone carries traces of vanished tongues: Norse, Celtic, Old Saxon. Everyday phrases like husband and bread are fossils of forgotten voices. Even silence carries history. The gaps between ancient words show where cultures met, merged, and changed. Language is both map and memory. In remote corners of the world, small tribes still speak endangered languages. Each holds unique ideas like colors unseen or emotions unnamed in English. When they die, our collective imagination shrinks. For example, the word Mamahalapinatapai from Tierra del Fuego described two people sharing a glance, each wishing the other would speak first. When that language died, no other tongue could express that exact feeling. A single word, a world lost. Linguists race against time to record these final speakers. They travel through jungles and deserts with microphones, notebooks, and hope. Every voice recorded is one less lost forever. But even with technology, most extinct languages will never return. Their speakers are gone, their grammar unwritten, their songs unsung. All that remains is silence, heavy, but sacred. When ancient people spoke, their languages were alive like rivers. Now, those rivers have dried, but we can still trace where they once flowed. Ruins are to architecture what extinct words are to memory. In archives, linguists recreate words using shared roots. By comparing modern tongues, they rebuild a sound that might have once been real. It's like painting a portrait from ancient echoes. One reconstructed word is mater, the root of mother, in dozens of languages. That single sound survived the collapse of nations and time itself. It proves that some human bonds never vanish. Still, most languages are gone without a trace. Their stories, jokes, and everyday chatter have turned to dust. We will never know what they dreamed or feared, only that they once spoke, just like us. Every lost language once had laughter, anger, lullabies. They weren't just tools, they were emotions wearing sound. To lose them is to lose ways of being human we'll never feel again. Imagine never hearing your grandmother's tongue again. That's what entire cultures endure when their last speaker dies. An entire ancestry disappears with a single breath. When languages vanish, we lose unique ways of seeing the world. Some had words for the scent of rain on stone, or the color of sunrise reflected on water. Those meanings now live only in silence. But hope still exists. Across the world, small communities are bringing their words back, teaching, recording, singing. Each revived syllable is a victory against time. In Hawaii, children now learn Hawaiian again in schools. Songs once forbidden are being sung proudly on beaches. Extinct, no longer reborn through sound. In New Zealand, Maori elders pass their language to new generations. They speak not just to be understood, but to remember. Every spoken word becomes an act of survival. In North America, tribes rebuild lost vocabularies from old missionary notes. The same languages once suppressed are now celebrated on digital screens. History rewritten in voice. Technology has become a new archive. AI and linguists record endangered languages word by word, tone by tone. The internet, once feared as noise, now shelters whispers of the past. But revival isn't just about preservation, it's about identity. A child who learns their ancestors' word for home rediscovers belonging. Language is memory you can speak aloud. If you're still watching, you're part of the few who care about these echoes. Stay till the end. The story of our voices is also the story of who we are. And maybe, by remembering them, we save a part of ourselves too. Throughout history, empires erased tongues but could never silence meaning. Every time humanity learns a lost word, the world becomes wider again. We reclaim the poetry that time tried to bury. Even the simplest words, mother, home, fire, connect us to those who lived long before us. They spoke them under the same stars, seeking the same warmth. The language of survival never truly ends. Linguists call language living memory, because when a word dies, memory fades with it. But when one is spoken again, memory breathes anew. The rediscovery of words is not science alone, it's resurrection. Through one translation, we hear the heartbeat of forgotten civilizations. Through one sentence, we touch eternity. Ancient words are like fossils of thought. They tell us how people once described love, fear, and time itself. They are proof that emotion is the oldest invention of all. Every civilization leaves behind ruins. Only a few leave behind sound. Language is the one architecture that can still be rebuilt. Stone crumbles, but syllables return through the mouths of dreamers. Some scholars say the next great extinction won't be of species, but of words. But maybe not if people choose to listen again. The power to save a language begins with the decision to care. Each time a forgotten word is spoken, history blinks awake. The air fills with an old rhythm, the sound of humanity remembering itself. That is what makes language immortal. If this journey moved you, don't let it end here. Subscribe for more hidden stories of our shared past, stories that make you hear history, not just see it, because every voice lost deserves an echo. The world will keep changing, empires will keep falling, and words will keep being born and dying. But as long as one person remembers, no language is ever truly gone. History doesn't fade, it only waits to be spoken again.